Hi everyone, welcome to Club 2, Episode 9 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. So, most things remain the same since the last time you and I were together. You can see financially we're in the same position. Sometimes we lose money, sometimes we gain money. It's a little bit up and down. We've lost a couple of places in the league due to a couple of results I'll tell you about in a second, but we still remain in the top half of the table and we're still very much attached to those ahead of us as well as those below us. So it's all very close still. We've got to match 13 so far, and you can, if you remember from last season, at match 22, then the league splits in two, and the top half play each other for the remainder of the season, and the bottom half play each other for the remainder of the season. So we need to be in the top six at least at the match 22 point just to get into that top half competition. And I think we can do that, but it's still a bit touch and go. But I'm happy with where we are so far. And the next run of games that we've got Llandudno today, then we've got Cardiff Met University, and then we've got Haverfordwest. And if you look at the table, Cardiff Met, Haverfordwest, Llandudno, they're all below us in the league, so I'm hoping to pick up a few points before next episode, where we'll play Barla, who find themselves top of the table currently, which will be a tricky game. So yeah, hopefully a few good points on the table between now and the Barla game. And today is Llandudno, as I say, so we'll get into that in a second. A couple of other little things to talk about in terms of players who are playing well. And it's still Busumbru who's the star of our show. If we go and have a look at him, he's now got 13 in 14 games, 13 goals in 14 games, which is great. A couple of assists to his name, a 7.53 average, which is really positive. Most assists currently goes to Will Evans, who plays in the centre of midfield for us. You can see his passing of 13 and his teamwork and work rate are very good, and his physicals are very good, so he's performing pretty well. Hasn't scored yet, but 7 assists in 14 matches, which is not too bad at all. Most players are currently available to us. You can see that we haven't played everybody yet this season. We've been waiting for the right opportunity for a couple of our fringe players to get a moment to play, and that might come in a later cup competition, but yeah, most of them haven't. Most of the players have played, and you can see all our bench are getting decent time here and there. They've all played at least a few starts themselves. And for example, Jake Fenlon most recently played in the last match and got a 7.2 average rating and scored a goal. As a young player coming through our ranks, he's developing quite nicely. And you can see the other Fenlon, no relation to Jake Fenlon, is Kerry Fenlon, and he's also developing pretty well. Hasn't quite had the impact on our game as Jake Fenlon has, but has played off the bench most of the time and is a good alternative just to bring on occasionally and get some match time. So a couple of youngsters there improving, which is really important. Most players are happy, I would say. I don't think I've got many that are unhappy. We've got a couple of promises to keep to a couple of them, but not too much. I'm just hoping that when we get to the January transfer window, we can keep hold of some of our better players like Busumbru. That would be a nightmare to lose him, but that's for another day. For today, we're playing Llandudno in the Welsh Premier League, trying to get those points on the board to maintain our top half position. So today's team for the game will be Brass in goal, Tatum at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Edwards in central defence, Evans, Rogers and McBurney in central midfield, with Sarmento on the right, Parry on the left and Busumbru up top, with a bench of Hope, Harden, Harris, Palmer, Fenlon and Graham. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So in terms of team talk, I've suggested to all the players that this is a great opportunity to show all the pundits that they've been right to back you up. And that's got a little bit of motivation, which is positive. You know, half the players in the side seem motivated by that. So that hopefully will be encouraging for our first half performance. A first half in which we're away from home. Llandudno playing at home in their black and white. We're in our red strip. So we'll see what the first highlight brings first. And hopefully it will be something positive to get our position in this match sorted a little bit and settle down any nerves that are there. And Busumbru through to Sarmento has a long shot and it hits that post and comes back out. Unfortunately, no one was there for us to challenge the ball, but a good strike from Sarmento. But Llandudno have gone straight down the other end with Duel, and can they make something out of this? And the header comes in, but it's just slightly wide, and I think if it had been inside that far post, that near post, then our goalkeeper would have really struggled to get to it. It was a good opportunity for Llandudno, but they didn't quite make the most of it. And again, it's for us down this right-hand side, but we lose possession and they take it for themselves, send it back to defence, and then straight over the top for Duel. And he has an opportunity at goal, but it's a very weak shot in the end, and Brass comfortably gathers the ball. But again, in defensive area, we're slightly shaky and not really looking as dominant as I'd like us to be. But yeah, one of those things, I guess, at this particular moment. We'll have to look at the personnel later on and see if we can change them as other transfer windows come. But another opportunity for us. But again, we lose that ball. We go too long in the wrong areas and we lose that ball. But we regain it in midfield. Again, lose it, but regain it in defence. It's a little bit like nobody wants it at the moment. Again, a really poor ball forward. Easy for me to say. But we regain it again, and finally we find Owens down the left-hand side with some space. Can he get a cross in? He can't get a cross in, but what he does was draw in the challenge, and they gave away a penalty, and so it will be McBurney on the penalty. Can he put a penalty away and settle these nerves that we've obviously got? 30 minutes in, there's the first goal. I think it's been a little bit nervy, hasn't it? We keep giving the ball away very easily, keep getting it back again, to be honest, but I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in the fact that we're not keeping it as well as we should do, and finding the sort of the direct ball, but a bit more specific in terms of our direct balls as to when we're using them. But yeah, anyway, 1-0. Can we get through to half-time still leading the game? I hope so. That would be an opportunity to encourage them again at half-time and see whether we can sort of get them going again for a second half performance. You can see in terms of the match ratings, there's some low ratings in there, isn't there? 6.4 and 6.3 for our two central midfield players. We've got 6.4 and 6.4 for our two wide players, and a 6.4 for our striker. It's not good reading at all. So we are going to have to do something about it. So passionately, we're going to say it's a great opportunity. We don't want to use the same one again, do we? Or what if we change it to assertively? That gives us a little bit. Let's go with we've got to guard against complacency now. Don't think the job is done, and that's good. That got them motivated and focused again. That's exactly what I was trying to achieve. Get them to really focus down on what it is they're trying to achieve here. And what we need is those 3 points from a slightly lower side in our league, just to keep us moving higher up the table. It's important to win these types of matches. But again, it's a Llandudno corner kick. Williams with the kick goes into the centre of the penalty box, and the attempt at goal goes over the top. And we can sort of do a bit of a sigh of relief on that one, really, because it was a good opportunity for them. We're at 68 minutes and the highlights have died down a little bit, and so we're going to see whether we can inject some sort of fresh impetus into this side. We've got Edwards, who's on a 6.9, which is pretty good compared to a lot, but he's on 65% conditioning. I think I might need to protect him. He's been in and out of the side a little bit, so we're going to take him off and put Hope on. And then we've got to get rid of a couple of these slightly low ratings. Rogers on a yellow card, and he's got a low rating, so he can come off, with Harris coming on. And then a slightly more attacking one. What do? Get rid of the complacency up front. Busumbru, what have you been doing? It's like 14 in 14 or whatever you've got, and today you've decided you can't be bothered, so Graham's going to come on and see if he can get him see if we can get him a couple of scoring opportunities and see if he can make the most of this particular chance. But it's still a little quiet, isn't it? The time is ticking by. As long as they don't get a last second opportunity, we'll be okay here and get a very sneaky 1-0 win. I'm not particularly happy about it, if I'm honest. If we come out of there and just say, okay, well done, we've got to keep the good feelings going. But if we come out of this particular match, you can see, look, Llandudno sitting bottom of the table, although very close to others. Where we are comparative to them, we should have been winning that game more. For the likes of Busumbru, it was a great opportunity to get more goals than he did. But in the end, we got a 1-0 win. climb the table a little bit more, finish in 4th place for today. You see there's still teams to play their 14th game, so they could quite easily overtake us again. But it sets us up very nicely, having recently had a bit of a stumbling block. I forgot to show you this before the game, I think, that we lost to Barry and the New Saints, which are two of the top sides in the division. But we've now picked up a couple of wins in a row, and we've got Cardiff Met and Haverfordwest, who both sit below us in the table. Cardiff Met sit in 7th and Haverfordwest in 11th. So if we could get a couple of wins there, or at least 4 points from those two games, that would be really encouraging before we come into this game against Barlow, who currently sit top of the table. And that's going to be our next episode. So I hope you'll join me for that. Disappointing game today, although we got the win. But I guess the positives is that we didn't lose a stack load of goals, which normally we do, to be honest, which is, I guess, good in itself. But nobody seemed to have their scoring boots on, particularly Busumbru, wasn't at the races today. So, unfortunately, it was a bit of a damp squib. But even so, we got the 3 points. We've moved up the division a little bit, which is really encouraging, and that leads us very nicely into the next couple of games. So I hope you'll join me for the next episode, but for this one, that's all I've got for you. So thanks very much for joining me. If you're enjoying the series, why not subscribe to the channel, keep up to date with the videos. If you like this particular episode, I'm a bit mixed on it. I thought we were good, but not brilliant. But if you like this particular episode, then why not click a like on it for me? That helps me get seen by other people. It helps me get higher in the search results for YouTube. So if you could do that for me, that would be brilliant. If you're playing Football Manager yourself, I hope you're having a great time doing it. Let me know about your save in the comments below. Always interested to hear your stories. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I will see you soon, and bye for now.